Hey everyone, welcome to my yarn room. Today we're going to be working on a small crossbody bag. I use mine to hold my purse, my phone, just little things, especially in the spring and summer. It's good to have something small that you can just kind of hang on your body. The yarn we're using today is Karen Cotton Angel Cakes by Yarnspirations. This particular cake has 530 yards. It's 60% cotton, 40% acrylic. For today's project, I'm using a 6mm. You use whatever size you like. Let's get started. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, good.
Are you alive?
29, yeah. 30, but that's okay, you can talk.
Love you.
Love you too. 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50. This is going to be the front and the back of the bag. So when you fold it over, when you fold it over, like the front will be right here, the back will be on the other side, and then we'll seam up the sides. Oops, here, let me move that over a little. Yeah, and then we'll seam up the sides. Okay, let's get started with the body. So for the whole bag, we are just going to be crocheting Tunisian simple stitch. And like I said before, I have a tutorial for the Tunisian simple stitch. And I will put that link in the description and in a couple of places on this video. But it's very super easy. Oops, let me pull a little more out of the middle. You just slip through the chain and pull through. Slip through the chain, pull through. I guess wrap around and pull through. Slip through the chain, wrap around, pull through. Slip through the chain, wrap around, pull through. And you're going to do this for the full length of the chain. And at the end, you should have 50 stitches, I believe, or 50 loops on your hook. But we'll count just to make sure at the very end. Oh, I forgot to tell you what the name or what the colorway for this yarn is. This one is called Dark Cocoa, although it seems like kind of a light cocoa to me. And like with any project, whether it's knitting or crochet, the first row takes the longest, just because it's working into that chain. Are you finished?
Got it. Well, close.
Okay. Okay, so when you get to the end, you want to spread these across the length of your hook. You make sure you can see that. And then count how many are on here. There should be 50. Or is it 51? I can't remember. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50. Okay, great. Now, we've got the first half of the row done. Let's go back down and finish this first row up. So if you remember from the tutorial, to make that chain 1 on the side, in that first loop right there, you chain 1, then you wrap around and pull through 2. And it's the same down the whole length of the hook. Wrap around 1, pull through 2, wrap around, pull through 2, wrap around, pull through 2. Whoops, got them spread out a little too far on my hook. Okay, there we go. Wrap around, pull through 2. Wrap around, pull through 2. Wrap around, pull through 2. Whoops. And if yours looks a little tighter than this, don't worry. It could be one of two things. I have a very loose tension, and it is looser than I would say most people that I know. So don't feel bad if yours looks tighter than mine, because I crochet very loosely. Or if you're using a smaller hook, it may look a little tighter then too. Okay, so we are at the end of the first row, and it should be a foot, give or take a few inches, you know, depending on tension, size of hook, size of yarn. Like I said before, it's not with something that's not a garment, gauge isn't necessarily that important. So it doesn't have to be perfect. All right, let's get started on the second row. And from here on out, the rows are going to be exactly the same. Now, what I want to make sure of is that your edges are all even and all done exactly the same way. The edges were the #1 thing that messed me up whenever I first learned Tunisian crochet. So let me get started on the first stitch. Okay, so you just Let me make sure it's close enough to where you can see it. Just put it through that first leg, wrap around, pull it through. So you've got 2 loops on your hook now. Go through that next, the front leg, wrap it around, pull it up. Now you have 3 loops on your hook. Okay. See, when you pull it, it should look like that. And then you're going to want to crochet or bring it through that first leg. I call the little stitches legs. See how it kind of looks like there's 2 legs right there? They kind of close together at the bottom. Put it through that front leg, wrap around, pull it back up. And then just keep doing the same thing all the way down. Now what I recommend, what's best for me, is counting as I'm crocheting. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, and then this is very important. When you get to the very end of the row, you always want to make sure that you put it through the correct loops. Now at the end of the row, it's going to be like you're sticking it through this chain right here. So it'll look like that, and this chain will be attached to the chain of that previous row. And then you pull through that chain, then you chain 1, and you will have 50 hoops or 50 loops on your hook. Now, if you didn't get a chance to count, and especially if this is your first Tunisian project, I would double check and count to make sure that you have 50 loops on your project. And since you've already chained 1, now it's time to bring over, pull through 2 all the way down. Wrap around, pull through 2. 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 I love it when there's no yarn barf. Okay, let's get finished with this row. Oops. Now the reason I'm telling you, especially in your first couple of Tunisian projects, to make sure you have the numbers of the loops on your hook correct when you're doing this, is because it can throw your whole project way off if you miss one of the loops in the middle. And I can show you my bag in just a little bit. The first bag I did where I actually missed a loop in the middle. And it's like, what? It makes it a little shorter on one side, a little longer on the other, and we don't want that. Oops, did I pull it through both? There we go. Now we're back at this end. And that's what it should look like. Let me make sure you can see it. Oops, there you go. And don't worry if when it starts to curl, because it's supposed to do that. This particular stitch makes the piece of fabric furl, but we'll get that all worked out when we stitch the sides together in the end. Okay, let's start on row 3. Okay, and remember on this side, you don't need to chain 1 because this loop right here acts as the chain 1. So put it under that first leg, wrap around, pull through. Put it under that first leg, wrap around and go through. See, those are the little legs. The loop, remember the loop is always at the top. And sometimes it can be easy to be confused. It can be easy to get the legs confused. Just remember that the loop is at the top, that the legs attach at the top and they separate into the feet on the bottom, if that makes sense. Okay, I'm going to count as I go. I find it easier to do it that way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49. Okay, once you get to 49, you'll be making the end stitch, which you can see looks kind of like a chain. Now this is the, okay, on the end stitch, your feet, it's like he's doing a handstand. So his little legs are up in the air and his little hips are down there. So you just put it through that loop. pull through one, chain one, and then wrap around, pull through two, wrap around, pull through two, and do that all the way down. Okay, so we're at the end of the third row, and it should be curling up like mine is doing very nicely. And this is what it should look like so far. Now what I'm going to do is to skip ahead and crochet another 7 rows, and so we will meet together at the end of the 10th row. As you can tell, I kind of went past the 10th row. I completely lost track of time. I apologize, but I'm at the end of the 25th row. This is what your piece of Tunisian fabric should look like now. It's got a nice even texture and even stitches if you've had your stitch count right, even 50 stitches the whole way down. Like I said, don't be alarmed that the ends are curling in a little bit. It's supposed to do that. Now I do want to show you what the side should look like. This is the side that you didn't chain one on. It's the beginning of the rows, and see how it has a nice even chain. Looks like you would be crocheting into the top of a row though, but it's actually the side. The next side looks similar. It has a little different loop just because you're going, you're going into the top of one chain and chaining one. So it does have a little different loop. Sorry about that focus there. But you can see the chain. And there should be one chain per row so that you'll have an even 25 chains on one side and 25 chains on the other. Now we'll be finishing off the top of the piece. I like to use a regular hook for this because we don't have to have extra rows. This is where you would be going through and doing the first half of the row, but instead of making that first half and pulling up all the loops, we are going through that first leg and pulling up through both hooks or both loops. First leg, pull up through both loops. First leg, go up through both loops. Wrap around, pull up through both loops. And see, it's finishing off that top edge nicely. And it will have a nice chain finish on the top. When I showed you the hook before and it was kind of blurry, I was showing you that it was the same size hook. We're using the same size hook to do this as the Tunisian hook that we were using. So you can use the Tunisian hook to finish off the top of your piece. But if you have a smaller hook and you feel more comfortable using it, go right ahead and do that. It really doesn't make any difference. The main thing is that you just feel comfortable with the hook you're using. Here we go. In through one leg, pull through two. In through one leg, pull through two. In through one leg, pull through two. In through one leg, pull through two, and just keep doing that all the way down. And at the end, you will have 50 stitches or 50 chains across, or the top of the stitches. Oops. If you need to slow this down at all, I don't realize how fast I'm going until I'm watching it. And in your settings, just slow it down a little bit. In the next tutorial I make, I will go a little slower if some of you think I need to. We're almost to the end. We are almost to the end of the row. And remember to put it through that chain just like we did on all of the other rows, and just finish it off. At this point, you will start seaming up the edges. Cut a long enough piece. I think I might have cut this piece a little too long, but that's all right. Better too long than too short. To seam up the edges, use a tapestry needle. And let's see if I can get this threaded. And you will turn your bag to where the inside is on the outside. Turn it inside out. To seam up the sides, I use the basic slip stitch, but you can use whatever method of seaming up the sides that you prefer. I just use a slip stitch because it just seems like the most simple to me. Now what we're going to do is fold it in half so that the sides are now on the top. And right here we are going through where we just finished the last row. And we're going to just seam through the top of each stitch. Whoop. Got a little tangled. I think that's because I made my thread a little too long, but that's okay. Now, easy peasy, just sewing up those sides. And it's important to make sure, of course, that they're even so your bag doesn't turn out wonky. Okay, finished that side. And now we're going to work on the other side. Same process. Oops, but first we must tie off this side. And then we'll weave in the ends later. Of course, you can weave in the ends now, but I'm going to wait till later. Now we're going to do the same thing on the other side. We're going to be stitching into our beginning chain where we first started our Tunisian stitch on the very bottom. So it looks a little different than the chain at the top, or the stitches at the top. But just go through each chain on the bottom, making sure that you go through 25 just like you did on the other side. And this is what it looks like when it's finished. Turn the bag inside out, or right side out, I'm sorry. You would want the outside out. And there is what the body of your bag will look like. You can see what each side looks like. And don't be worried if the seam looks a little different on yours. It all depends on what stitch you use to seam. Okay. Now we're going to crochet a single stitch in the top of every row. So we'll start off by joining on the side. You can really join on anywhere. I just like to join on the side because that's where my handles are going to go. And you should have 25 single crochets on each side and then one extra single crochet on each seam for a total of 52 chains around the top of your bag. Don't worry if you're 1 or 2 stitches off. Preferably you will have 52, but if you have 51 or 53, it's not going to make a whole bunch of difference. I like crocheting into the right hand side of a Tunisian piece of fabric because it has those nice stitches all on top, where you can definitely see what you're going through. It's just like crocheting on a row. But it's actually on the edge of those stitches. And you'll notice I'm using the regular hook. You can use the Tunisian hook for this part if you like. I just like to use it because the short hook, because I'm not having to carry any loops on my hook, but you can definitely still use your Tunisian hook to single crochet. Getting around to the opposite side of the bag, I should have around 26 stitches. Remember to put that one extra stitch right on the seam. And then the 25 stitches down the other side. see how I'm crocheting each single crochet into that chain one that we were doing at the end of each row. It doesn't look quite as even as the stitches at the top of a row or that are on the other side of the Tunisian piece, but you can tell. We're almost to the end of this round. Now when we get to the first single crochet that we worked into the top of the bag, you're going to slip stitch into the top of that first single crochet and chain one and single crochet into that first stitch and in each stitch all the way around. I was counting those stitches just to make sure that I'm on track. Like I said, it doesn't hurt to be 1 or 2 off, but you want to have as close to 52 as possible. If I'm a little off, say if I have like 54, I will count on both sides, along both sides from edge to edge. And if there's 28 on one side, 25 on the other, I might decrease on the 28 and add another on the side that there's 25. Or you can frog the first round and redo it again and make sure there's as close to 26 on each side. I love crocheting around the top because this is where it actually starts to look and feel like a bag. Okay, so when we get to the end of our second round, we will slip stitch into the top of that, the second crochet of that, or the single crochet of that round, the first single crochet, and then that's what your side should look like. The 2 single crochet rounds, just kind of clean it up along the whole top edge. And what I'm doing right now is I didn't cut off, and I'm starting to make the handle with a simple Tunisian simple stitch. and I just pulled up the first Tunisian simple stitch row into the first 5 stitches of that row. So you should have 6 loops on your hook all the way across your bag handle rows. And it's exactly the same as the Tunisian simple stitch that you did for your body. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And remember, we do the sides like this. We go into that chain 1, and go back through, pulling through 2 at a time. And it'll look just like the body of your bag did, except a lot skinnier. And you can make your strap as wide or as skinny as you want to. This is just the width that I like. You can make it a little thicker, you can make it a little thinner. If you don't like this type of strap, you can make a completely different strap. And then you make it as long as you want to. I make mine the length that I can put it across my body, just because in the summertime I like to have a bag on me, but I don't like to carry a purse. But I need something that I can carry my phone and my wallet in. So crossbody bags for me are great because I never lose anything. And after a few rows, this is what it will look like. So continue on until you have the length that you would like, and I will show you how to stitch that together. So far, we've gotten this much done on it, the little crossbody purse, the crossbody Tunisian bag, I guess I would say. And we've got one side of the handle and have crocheted the length that you want. I make sure when I put it over that it is on my hip. And it is. And I would say that mine, of course it's gonna differ depending on how tall you are. I would say mine's roughly 3 feet long. Make sure that you pull a little just to stretch it, because when you have something in it like a phone or a wallet, it's going to pull on it a little. So I've got mine at the right length. Now we're going to finish off the strap. We're going to finish off that top row. This time I'm using the Tunisian hook just to show you kind of what it looks like. It's just longer, but it does the same job. Put through that first leg, wrap around, and pull through both loops on hook. Put through the leg, wrap around, pull through both loops on hook. Put through the leg, wrap around, pull through both loops on hook. And this, you stick through that little chain, just like we did on the side of the pouch, and pull through both. And then you will tie that off. So now we're going to sew the strap onto the purse. As you can see, that is not the purse and that is not the strap. I lost the footage of the tutorial where I sew the strap onto the purse. So I made another strap and I made a tiny swatch so I can show that what it looks like to sew the strap onto the purse. So just pretend like this is the strap in the purse. At first I was thinking, oh my gosh, am I going to need to make a whole new purse? Which, you know, wouldn't be that bad, but it would take time. And there you go. Just slip stitch, or however you like to sew things together. And there you go. You're done sewing on the strap. The only thing left to do is to tie off and then weave in the ends. And then you will have an awesome crossbody phone pouch or bag. When you flip it around, that's what your seam should look like. And here is your bag. Now let me know in the comments if there's anything that was unclear that I can clarify for you. Not, I hope you love your crossbody bag. Oh, I gotta show you guys. Ta-da! I am in love with my little crossbody bag. Should be a song for it. But I gotta weave in the ends. So, let's weave in the ends. Oh, I gotta look here. Let's weave in the ends. I thought I just saw something fly through the air. Coffee. Hi, everyone. Welcome to my yarn room. Actually, welcome to my tutorial desk. I am getting ready to show you some stuff. I've got two cameras going right now. I've got the one on my face and I've got the one on my hands, which, oh my gosh, I did not realize until I saw myself crocheting stuff on camera how old my hands have gotten. Are those my hands? Oh, this getting older thing is not cool, man. I mean, it is in some things because there's patience, there's some wisdom, there's, you know, good things about getting older. But the other things, like memory loss and old hands, oh, my phone does weird things.